Side, and it's getting warm inside Castle Coliseum as we bring you this 124th renewal of the rivalry between Virginia and Virginia Tech. The Cavaliers have won 4 straight in this series, including 3 last year. And of course, they've won 7 straight overall. Virginia Tech dropped a pair of games before a week off. Let's take a look at our Food Lion starting lineups. And for the Virginia Cavaliers, Jason Kane is the thing that greases things inside with 9-point rebounds a game. Diani, Mikalauskas, Reynolds, and Singletary completing the starting lineup. For Virginia Tech, Coleman Collins. Against the big teams, he rises up big. But over the last 6 games, 6 blocks, 1.09 blocks per game. Washington, A.D. Basayo joins the starting lineup with Dowdell and Gordon. And we are just about ready to go. You can't squeeze another person in to Castle Coliseum. You would think that Del Curry was here to play.
I tell you what, it's bringing back sweet memories here. I'm looking forward to this.
All right, Mikalauskas and Collins getting ready to jump it up, and we are underway in Blacksburg. Sean Singletary, as Virginia comes down in their road orange uniforms. Mamadi Diani. J.R. Reynolds, who played his high school ball locally at Roanoke Catholic High School. Kane. Shot rebounded out of bounds by Deron Washington. Singletary getting ready to inbound. Crowd in full throat. Reynolds hit from behind, but he has enough to hang in there and get the basket.
That was a tough shot. He was fading away toward the baseline and had the ability to kiss that off the glass. I'll tell you, big-time shot there to start the game.
Had himself a defender on his back, too. Basayo getting the start. Virginia Tech wants to be a little bit more athletic. And there's Gordon scoring out of the post-up.
Yeah, I think he feels he has an advantage down there on Singletary with his size and strength.
Gordon hits the deck. Singletary pops open. Will attack Collins inside. And we got a jump ball, possession arrow, Virginia Tech.
Great play right there. Singletary got to the lane, used his body well. You see the help side coming over. Coleman Collins did not foul, kept his hands straight in the air, and made a good defensive play.
Xavier Dowdell brings it down into front court for Seth Greenberg's Virginia Tech Hokies. Going up against Dave Leitao and the Virginia Cavaliers, who've had some outstanding success of late. Here is Gordon.
That was a sweet jumper right there. These guys set good screens, and when you get open a shot like that, you've got to put it in.
Singletary and Reynolds working out against the man-to-man. Kane and Washington are an interesting matchup. Here's Kane. Not known as 1 or 2 in the options, but there's Jamon Gordon with another steal. Basayo is fouled as he went up. The foul is going to be on Jason Kane.
Well, you see the on the defensive end for the Hokies, they're forcing that turnover. Jason Kane getting a position maybe he's not real comfortable at. The defense, the guy comes down, knocks it out of his hands, and the Hokies are off and running. Strong move right here by Basayo to get to the basket and shoot 2.
And Jamon Gordon now just 40 steals away from Del Curry's #1 ranking at Virginia Tech.
They gave him that steal?
I would give him a steal.
Yeah, I would too.
Oh, come on. I mean, that's quite a record to stand for 20 years. And it's time to end.
That's why they're there, to be broken, right?
There you go. Basayo with a pair of hits. 7-2 the score. Virginia Tech on top. As we mentioned before, Virginia has won the last 4 meetings, and they have an overwhelming edge in this series, 77-49. On the wing, Reynolds to Kane at the top. Jason Kane's had an outstanding season for the Cavaliers. Singletary looks inside to Mikalauskas working on Coleman Collins. And Kane knocks the rebound, or no, it's going to be knocked out by Collins out of bounds. It'll be Virginia ball.
That was a good play right there. Mikalauskas is to open up the game, often gets the ball inside as Virginia wants to establish some kind of inside presence before they let their guards go loose.
Kane is a guy who gets his points off offensive rebound. Here's a steal by Gordon. may beat you tonight. Here is Dowdell. Into front court, a foul on heavy action underneath. It's an offensive foul. And some scores. You saw North Carolina with a huge win. Georgetown with a big win and a huge Big East matchup. 7-2. J.R. Reynolds to the top. Singletary with his first offering of the day, and I think Gordon might have gotten a piece of it. Yes, he did. Duke Edsel indicated that there was a block. Here's Vasayo with a drive. No foul on the play. Vasayo has 4, and Virginia needs a timeout. The Hokies come out fired up after 6 days off. And we'll be back after this word from the University of Virginia.
To understand that Virginia is more than just a school. It's really a national treasure.
There's Dave Leitao. Seen his team win 7 straight. He sees his team in a pressure cooker here at Virginia Tech. But this is a resilient Virginia crew that has come from double-digit deficits several times. Singletary knocked away by Gordon. That's not a steal. Here's Reynolds. Vasayo boards the miss. Gordon into front court. Here's Dowdell. Tries to sort his way through, and the tip by Washington goes.
I'll tell you, Steve, you talk about the hustle. I mean, Virginia Tech is getting their hands on just about every pass Virginia makes, and when they do, they're finishing on the other end.
Singletary. This is a veteran Virginia team that knows that there'll be a lot of air taken out of this place the opening of the game. The foul is on Dowdell. That's, I believe, going to be 2.
I think Dave Leitao called that timeout just to settle his team down, to say, hey, guys, let's relax. I think we're in a little bit of a hurry. Let's do what we do best, get the ball into the guys who make plays for us, and that's Singletary and Reynolds, the guy here at the line.
Reynolds, a 40-point effort against Wake Forest. And on the floor today, between these two teams, and mostly toward Virginia, we have 4 of the 5 top offensive outputs of the year. Sean Singletary takes a rest. Adrian Joseph comes in as Reynolds get ready for the second free throw.
Yeah, they're extremely guard-oriented team. Veteran guards who provide great leadership and that scoring ability. It's irreplaceable as a coach.
J.R. Reynolds with a pair of free throws. It's a 7-point Virginia Tech lead. And into the ball game now for Virginia Tech. Marcus Sales did not play in the loss to Boston College. 80-59 a week ago in Boston. Gordon at the top. A.D. Vasayo getting the start in place of Lewis Witcher today. They're on Washington for 3. Sales gets up for the rebound and finishes.
Well, I tell you, he's been doing that all year. He only averages 15 minutes a game, but he's a guy that Coach Seth Greenberg can rely on to come off the bench.
He's going to need him with Dowdell in foul trouble with 2 early. Reynolds to Kane. There's the Hokie scoring run, 13-2. Nice skip to Diani, but he hesitated. Joseph gets the rebound. Joseph with the 3 from the wing. It was Joseph who last year had one of the game-winning hoops here. This is Sales for 2 more. 2-on-1 fast break.
Yeah, Joseph had to get that ball in the air. Diani's shot did not hit the rim, and he was caught off guard. It was a tough, quick shot. Virginia Tech gets to capitalize on the other end.
Reynolds takes it to the foul line and fires, and he gives you an idea of what his firepower is all about. He's got 6, all of Virginia's points. And look how quickly Virginia Tech comes down in the front court. Vasayo with 3, he's got 7. Virginia Tech now builds a 12-point lead, and another timeout coming for Virginia. A 30-second timeout. Timeout on the floor as the teams discuss strategy. You should too. Get someone to talk with you, not at you. Talk to Chuck. Charles Schwab And Dell, as Dave Leitao goes over his team in the huddle, he already told them once to calm down. What's he telling them this time?
Well, he's telling them, especially Adrian Joseph, hey, you got to realize who you're guarding in Basayo there. He is a three-point shot. He has a great three-point shot. He comes down and shoots that right in your face. When you get in the game, you have to realize who you're guarding and what you're doing. You see here the Hokies sharing the basketball. A nice give and go. Ball never hit the floor there, and Sales ends up with an easy layup.
He's got 4 already coming off the bench after he did not play at Boston College. 18-6, Virginia Tech on top of an explosion at the beginning of this game. A field goal, 7 for 9 as opposed to 2 for 9, and now here's a Virginia turnover. Timeout on the floor. The Hokies come out strong with 14:36 left to go in the first half. Jamon Gordon was only shooting 32% over the last 6. He's found his way to get his offense going today, Dad.
Yeah, it really does, and it comes off of the defensive end. You know, he gets some wide open shots there, hits the first shot, gets his confidence back, and then when the Hokies get a steal, they're off and running, and they're hard to beat when you turn the ball over that easy, and they have an opportunity to come down and get good quick shots such as this.
He already has 2 steals on the afternoon. Virginia Tech has carried the action here, as the score would indicate. 18-6. They have the ball. Marcus Sales. Washington along there with Jamon Gordon posting up on Singletary, who's back on the floor. Now Virginia switches to a zone. Into the baseline. Deron Washington tries to steal, and he's fouled by Tunji Soroye.
Yeah, that zone there did not catch the Hokies off guard by any means. They share the ball so well and move the ball. You see swinging side to side. Deron Washington with a great drive there, kick out, and right back to Washington. I tell you, it's a good foul because he was going to finish that.
Last year, when these two teams met here in Blacksburg, Cavaliers threw up a zone, and Virginia Tech did not respond well. It resulted in a 54-49 win for the Cavaliers.
Well, the Hokies came out really strong today on both ends of the floor. Really aggressive. I think a week-long practice after a tough loss last week really got them prepared for this game.
A pair of losses last week to both NC State and Boston College. 1 out of 2 on the foul line for Darren Washington. J.R. Reynolds, Singletary at the point. Virginia Tech in a man-to-man. It's a tough assignment for Marcus Sales to chase J.R. Reynolds around. 9 on the shot clock now for Virginia. Wide open is Curtis Joseph for 3. Diani tips the rebound, and this is an area that Virginia Tech's very concerned about. Second chance opportunities. Look at Joseph, and it's wedged underneath Deron Washington and Shek Jakite. Here's Gordon. Deron Washington to finish. No, but the second time around he does it.
He's an energy guy on both ends of the floor, and you have to get a body on him at all times, or he will make you pay.
Well, we've talked about X factors for both teams, and Deron Washington has stepped up for Virginia Tech this afternoon so far. 21-6, Virginia Tech on the top. Diani. Sean Singletary hasn't found an opening today. We've got a foul out front on Sales, and that's a tough matchup for Marcus Sales.
It really is a tough job. Here you see Deron Washington come in, changing the shot, actually getting a block with 2 hands on that, starting the fast break, falling out of bounds, but he continues to hustle to the other end. Offensive board, no, I'm going to try it again, and there it is. I tell you, he's that type of energy. He's going to be a handful for the Cavaliers today.
And man's a stat stuffer this afternoon with a block, an offensive rebound, and a second chance point. 21-6.
Virginia looks a little unsure of what they want to do offensively, and when everything boggles down, J.R. Reynolds just puts his head down and goes one-on-one. I know Dave Leitao does not want to see that happen all day long.
Leitao chasing him now. He'll take it into the paint. Nobody's buying the shot fake, but he scores anyway. J.R. Reynolds has all 8 of Virginia's points, and they trail by 13.
Well, he's showing his senior leadership right here. Coming back home to play from Roanoke, saying, hey, guys, I'm going to figure out a way to keep us in it until we get things going our way here.
Nigel Munson is in the ball game. We got to travel. A turnover. Join the Mania, ACC fans. You could win up to $100,000 plus hundreds of other great prizes. To enter Alltel's My Circle Mania sweepstakes, text HOOPS to 84353 or visit mycirclemania.com. The Hokies of Virginia Tech standing on a lead. They've got a couple of turnovers here. Virginia trying to take advantage of them. Solomon Tatt is in the ball game for the Cavs. Here's Singletary. Munson not giving him much room to breathe, and he's missed his first 2 shots in the afternoon. Munson boards the miss, the freshman from DeMatha. The jump shot works.
Great poise there by a freshman. I tell you, he played Singletary very well on the defensive end. Came down and hit a little short jumper. Just gave what the defense took what the defense gave him.
Well, they've got to use a young backcourt with Xavier and Dowdell in foul trouble. There you see the block so far in this ball game. Inside, Singletary misses again. Well, that was J.R. Reynolds. Here comes Singletary at the top. Wide open Harris. Got it for 3. Will Harris.
Yeah, those are must-make shots there. When the defense is so focused on the 2 guards and they give it up, you've got to hit those shots.
Harris was out working out an hour before game time on his shooting. It's going to be needed by Virginia right now. They trail by 12.
Leash all your horses.
Times and bad times, though, Virginia can always rely on J.R. Reynolds to get things done offensively.
Yeah, you see the hitting the tough floater off the inbounds pass there. Has Vasile, the bigger guard on him, takes him to the middle, then go for the pump fake, but hits the tough leaner there. He's doing his best to try to keep his team in this game.
Gets his first rest of the day. I guess these should be best described as rough times for Virginia. As they trail here 23-11, you see what he's done. The other field goal, well, the man who just came into the ballgame, Will Harris, the true freshman from Corona, New York.
Yeah, and what Seth Greenberg likes is the amount of energy that's taken J.R. Reynolds to get his shot.
Gordon on the wing. 3-guard setup now for Virginia Tech. Here is Sales for 3. And the rebound comes to Jason Kane. So key moments for both teams as Dowdell continues to rest for Virginia Tech. And J.R. Reynolds is on the bench now for Virginia. Jason Kane out front. Singletary has yet to touch the net. Singletary trying to shake loose of Nigel Munson. Virginia taking a lot of time to get into their offense. Shot off the wing by Tatt doesn't work. We've got a loose ball foul, and it's going to be charged to Virginia Tech. Looks like Marcus Sales will pick it up. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. Virginia's won 7 straight ACC games. It's the Cavs' longest streak since the 81-82 season when they won 11 straight. And that's the year they wound up tied with North Carolina for the best record in the ACC at 12-2. That was in the heart of the Ralph Sampson era, the golden era of Virginia basketball. Dave Leitao trying to return the program to those heights. Right now, it's a tough go as Nigel Munson steals the pass from Harris and scores at the other end.
That's just an unforced turnover there. A guy not squeezing the ball. Tate there, and Nigel Munson just taking it and saying, hey, thank you. I'll score 2 on the other end.
Halfway through this first half, a 14-point Hokie lead, and there's the first basket of the day for Sean Singletary. And maybe that frees him up. Here's Gordon quickly to the offensive end. Ball lost out of bounds off Deron Washington. I'll tell you what, Del, if J.R. Reynolds comes back into the ballgame now for Virginia, I'm impressed with how quickly Virginia Tech gets from defense to offense.
Well, they know that Virginia is going to force the issue offensively, and Seth Greenberg talked to his team emphatically about that today, that we need everybody to sprint back to the paint, not just the 2 guards.
Sean Singletary said at the outset that Virginia Tech wanted an up-tempo game. Virginia wanted an up-tempo game. Here's Reynolds for 3. Rebound tipped out to Washington, and there they come. Washington gets the handle, gets inside, basket counts, and a blocking foul on Jason Kane.
Great decision there by the young freshman, Nigel Munson, to give it to the guy who can finish. Just tremendous play right here. He stops the 3-point line, picks up his dribble a little bit, but hey, there's Washington who takes it strong to the basket, and that's a tough finish off the glass.
Kane picking up the foul, I believe. And the shot by Washington gives him 8 points. He's Virginia Tech's leading scorer, 28-13. The score with Virginia Tech up by 15 points.
Big key minutes here from the freshman Munson, who's played very well at this point.
Well, it's been the young backcourt that has done a great job for Virginia Tech, the guys who will carry the standard in the future. Here's Reynolds inside, the shot blocked, but recovering was Harris. He couldn't finish it. Virginia Tech gets it. Here's Munson and Collins for the double.
Wow. Oh, nice pass by the freshman.
Another timeout taken by Virginia as Dave Leitao wants to talk about it. And we'll be back after this message from Virginia Tech. Seth Greenberg likes what his team has done. They've set the tone defensively. They've caused Virginia to take a lot of time to get not so easy shots. Adrian Joseph to the wing. Here's Mamadi Diani. Singletary just got his first basket 12 minutes into the game. He's bidding for another one. Almost carried it through. Jamon Gordon. Munson. Wow.
You knew that was going in. Everything is going right for the freshman. I tell you, what gets you going is when you make good plays to your teammates, things start coming easy.
Virginia Tech 12 of 17 from the floor. And they've got the pedal to the metal against Virginia. We've got a blocking foul. It's going to be charged to Munson. But what valuable minutes this young man is playing, allowing Dowdell to rest with 2 fouls.
Yeah, and he's going against two of the best guards in the ACC. It's big-time minutes for this guy. Great confidence. He's playing with poise. But you know, coming out of a program like DeMatha, you know he's capable of it.
And the first guy to meet him as he comes off the floor is Xavier Dowdell. Marcus Sales returns to the lineup now. Sanjay Soroye is out. And Ryan Pettinella is in, the transfer from Penn. Who's recently come off a knee injury. J.R. Reynolds, deep 3. So, and that is Diani, who stretches for the second chance opportunity. Sales bats the ball away, but Singletary recovers. Diani gets the first step. Coleman Collins is there to alter the shot. Deron Washington.
Man, that guy can finish. He is a high riser.
21-point lead for Virginia Tech against the ACC's hottest team until about 20 minutes ago. And a foul coming up on Jamon Gordon.
Virginia Tech is doing defensively exactly what they want to do. They know the guards are going to penetrate. They want to build a wall, force them to take tough shots, and then run the other way.
And running the other way, they go to Deron Washington, who rises for his 10 points. It's 34-13 Virginia Tech.
Takes on North Carolina Tuesday night at 8 on My 20.
A lot of excitement around Blacksburg. This team has waited quite a while. 6 days since it played at Boston College, and they have come out from Jump Street and really gone at Virginia hard. Coleman Collins with the dunk just moments ago, and the Cavaliers find themselves on the sore end of a Hokie lead, 34-13. Castle Coliseum is rocking. It may be cold outside, but it's warm inside. There's Deron Washington, and what a start to the day he's had.
Really has, active on both ends, and he's going to be a tough guy to handle today. There's another turnover.
There's another steal. Gordon into front court. And Washington's responsible for 5 of a 9-point unanswered run for Virginia Tech. Here's Versailles making 11.
Wow, that's a good big-time move there, shooting over a tough defender like Diani. Just one dribble, pull up, take this.
36-13. Virginia Tech. Great sense of urgency with 11 unanswered points. Tat tries to take it inside. Pettinella can't find the handle. Tat will score. Defensively, you can't ask much more out of the Hokies than what you've gotten so far. Sean Singletary with only 2 points.
You can't, Steve, and what they wanted to do, again, is build that wall, make them take tough shots, and give them only 1 shot. You knew Virginia was relentless on the boards, not give them the second chance points that they normally get in the game.
Versailles, who's Only averaged 6.5 points in the last 2 games. Having a strong start to his afternoon. And a nice finish. And that is going to be Will Harris with 5 points for Virginia. Cavaliers still down a bunch here. There's a touch by Reynolds. We've got a whistle, though, a foul away from that play. And I believe it's going to be on Pettinello. That's his first 14 foul.
Well, you know this is a big game, a rivalry game, but if you're the Hokies, you know you're going on the road for 2 after this. You know this is a game that you must get. So they were focused and ready to play from the start.
Going to North Carolina on Wednesday night. And then at NC State next Sunday.
Had a chance to come over this morning and watch shoot-around, Steve, and that was one of the most intense, hard-working shoot-arounds, even for an NBA team that I've seen.
Out in the front court, here comes Singletary off the miss. One of the few wasted possessions that Virginia Tech has had today. Reynolds for 3. He's not finding the mark. Inside, nothing works, even for Will Harris. And Solomon Tatt interferes with the ball, knocks it out of bounds. Let's take a look at our principal financial scores of other games around college basketball today. North Carolina big over arch rival Wake Forest. Miami with an early lead against NC State. Georgetown a winner over Marquette this afternoon, as was Purdue Ohio State over Purdue. Indiana won today, as well as 4th-ranked Wisconsin. And Tennessee with a big upset of Vanderbilt. A lot of weird things happen in the SEC. We've got a violation and travel for Virginia Tech. They've had a couple of turnovers here. Only flaws in what has been a pretty good game.
Really is a good, hard-fought game. The Hokies are seeing a big basket right now, and Virginia's seeing hands when they get to the basket.
Exactly. Nice screen by Pettinello to rub off Sales. Here's Diani for 3. And the ball allowed to fall out of bounds harmlessly with 5:13 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, the last few minutes here, the Cavaliers have gotten good shots, but I think their confidence is a little broken the way they started the game. And when you get down by this many points, every shot is important, and it maybe feeling a little pressure here on those jumpers, but they've got to knock those down.
Only shooting 24% though in this first half, 7 of 29, and that's very unlike this team who shoots near the 45 percentile normally, and certainly has been during their 7-game win streak. But they've been down as many as 19 to opponents this year. They were down 19 to Arizona. Came back and won.
With the firepower that they have, they're never out of the game.
A lot of contact with Reynolds on Sales, causing the steal. Solomon Tatt looking to finish. And it's going to be a goaltending call. Gordon on the goaltend. Seth Greenberg says it was on its way up.
No, I think that was a good call here. Nice strong back. There you see the ball hit the basket, and then he pinned it against the glass. Good call by the official.
So the basket credited to Solomon Tatt. Here's Virginia, 45%, and today 23%.
You're not going to be in a lot of ball games unless you're doing it on the defensive end, shooting 23%.
Well, they have just erased everything in the paint. They meaning Virginia Tech. Gordon drives against the zone, left it short. Here's Reynolds. The kick out to Tatt. Takes it inside instead, and Washington boards his miss. Sales ahead of the pack. Oh, what a block. What a finish by Washington.
I don't know what Sales was doing there. He's kind of slowed up, waiting for the defender, but look who's going to help his teammate, the active Deron Washington.
Well, the defender got there, but so did Deron. Deron Washington playing on a different level today. Reynolds. Tatt, the freshman from Nigeria, looking inside. Here on the wing is Adrian Joseph. Pettinello gets the rebound, but we got a foul before the shot went up. Foul on Virginia Tech. It's going to be on Coleman Collins with 3:27 left to go in the first half. Marcus Sales for Deron Washington to clean it up.
Forward.
Virginia Tech leads by 19, and Deron Washington is the big reason why.
Look at this block. I tell you, that's not even his help, but he's so active. Intensity, I tell you, he's the guy that feeds the team, feeds off of his energy. He leads the team in field goal percentage, and with high percentage shots like that, I see why.
Well, who would think that a team that depends so much on Xavier Dowdell for offense, one of the top scorers in the ACC, he hasn't got any points in this first half, and Deron Washington is closing in on a double-double.
Well, he just is constant movement. I tell you, when you're guarding this guy, you cannot lose him for a second because he has a nose and a knack for the ball. He's so quick off his feet, and he's 6'8" and long.
Foul on Coleman Collins, his first. And Pettinella is getting ready for two-shot or one-and-one. Missed the front half. That's the 17th foul on Virginia Tech. So that was the front half of a one-on-one for Pettinella. A.D. Vasayo back on the floor. Here's Gordon. Coleman Collins to Munson, or rather to Gordon, and he throws to an open wing. He thought Dowdell was there.
Yeah. Well, if you're Virginia, you just want to kind of weather this storm and maybe cut this lead in half here, the last 3 minutes of the half. Take something positive into the locker room with you.
When they come out in the second half, they'll face a refreshed Xavier Dowdell, who played only a couple of minutes before picking up his first two fouls, and he's sat ever since. Singletary. Joseph to the post. Here's Pettinella. Reynolds on the baseline. And Virginia struggling from the field. 8 of 33. Here's Munson back on the scene. Shot doesn't work in the corner. Deron Washington with rebound 19, number 9.
Virginia Tech is just getting their hands on every ball on both ends of the floor. They're just moving and just have more energy than the Cavs right now.
Coleman Collins out of the post. Reynolds boards the miss, and a foul in backcourt on Deron Washington. That's his first. There's nothing like college basketball, and if you're celebrating the win, do it right. The way you celebrate says a lot about you, and it reflects on your school. So be responsible. Take care of yourself and your friends. A message from Anheuser-Busch.
On the line, shooting the 1-1 for Virginia.
Dave Leitao looking on. He wonders when the storm will subside. It may have to wait till halftime.
Good play right there by J.R. Reynolds. He saw Deron Washington a little off balance, kind of ran in the path, knew they were in the bonus. Let's see if he can knock these in.
Rare miss for him on the front half. Virginia has missed the front half of the last two one-on-one possibilities. Into the ball game is Jamil Tucker. For the Cavaliers. Tucker, a good three-point specialist. Got a whistle and a foul. Foul's going to be on Adrian Joseph. Let's take a look at our Haviland defensive shield, and lo and behold, single-season steals per game. Del Curry in 85-86, 2.63. And then in your sophomore year, 2.54. And Jamon Gordon, you can feel his footsteps with 2.52. And he's just 39 steals away from you all time.
I hope he gets it. He's been a great player here for Virginia Tech. He's enjoyed his experience here, and he's going to be sorely missed next year, I'll tell you that.
Oh, both he and Dowdell. Here's Gordon from outside for two. But the looks we're seeing from Sales, and in particular Nigel Munson, have been looking good instead. Here's the shot from outside. Doesn't work. And Virginia's shooting woes continue. 8 of 34. Munson out of control. Washington can't finish. Soroye doesn't have it, but Joseph was standing on the end line when he touched the ball. And a 30-second timeout taken by Virginia Tech to talk things over. As the Hokies get a little rest here, up 38-19. Miami with an early lead over NC State. You see the final. Georgetown with an upset of sorts over Marquette. Ohio State maintains over Purdue. LSU struggling this season. What a big win for Tennessee. And Mississippi State goes to Auburn and wins by 8. And coming up later, Alabama, Mississippi. And here's a final. Look at this. A shock in Morgantown. A 5-point win for West Virginia. That's where Iowa State beats Texas today. And Wisconsin prevails over Iowa. A big day in college basketball, and a stunning result right now as Virginia harnessing the hottest team in the ACC, winning 7 straight coming in. They lead Virginia by a 38-19 count.
Yeah, and you know, we're getting late in the season here. You're thinking about conference play and March Madness. You've really got to focus in and play your best basketball these last few weeks of the season so that you are playing your best when tournament time does come around.
Virginia had won 3 straight ACC road games. We got an offensive foul here. Munson. Now it's going to be Shek-Jakite. The offensive foul on Virginia Tech. So picks up his first. Player control foul, so possession in backcourt. If you look at Jamil Tucker, who just came out. Mamadi Diani is back in.
I'm looking at these Virginia Cavaliers players, and they have sort of a befuddled look on their face, like they can't believe they're not making these shots themselves. I mean, they've been making them all year. There you go.
Well, covers off the rim for Sean Singletary, who has his first three-pointer of the game. This is a team that averages, lately over the 7-game win streak, 8 three-pointers made a game. And now a foul coming up on Singletary. That is going to be team foul number 5 on Virginia. Singletary picking up his first. 42 seconds left to go in this first half, dominated by Virginia Tech. Came out with a 13-2 run to start the game, and they haven't been stopped since. Gordon dragging it out. Shot clock now is 7 seconds behind the game clock. Jamon Gordon out of Jacksonville, Florida, in his senior year at Virginia Tech. Here's Washington. Steal by Singletary. Munson tries to swipe it. Oh, it's a carry. Singletary just kind of looks off carefully. He knew he was in heavy traffic and shielded that ball on the carry.
He really was, Steve. I think he thought about pulling up for the 3 and then saw some traffic and said, hey, I think I'll keep dribbling. But the referee said, no, I'm going to call you for the carry.
Brian Dorsey on the call. Brian Dorsey, Ray Natilli, and Duke Edsel working this game today. Here's Jamon Gordon out front. And rebound comes to J.R. Reynolds. Up in the front court for 2 seconds. And the first half comes to an end. De'Ron Washington leads the way for the Virginia Tech Hokies. 1 rebound off a double-double with 12 points. And Virginia Tech leads it at the half, 38-22 over the Virginia Cavaliers. Nice day, crisp, clear, cold, inside hot as all get out, especially for Virginia Tech. As the Hokies lead it 38-22. Let's take a look at our Toyota conference standings. And as a result of North Carolina's win, we have a 3-way tie to top the ACC at 8-2. Virginia Tech would fall to within a game of the lead with a win here today. And of course, Virginia drops out of that tie if they should lose. But they've been in this position before. Mamadi Diani starts the second half with a score underneath the basket. They've been down, Dell, to Arizona by as many as 19 to 3 different opponents by double digits and come back to win.
Yeah, they have the wherewithal to come back. They're not going to give up. They have tremendous shooters, although we didn't see it in the first half. But if you turn the ball over and give them opportunities on the offensive end, they can and will get back into this game.
So many guys we haven't heard from in this game. Xavier Dowdell scoreless. Sean Singletary has only 5 points and 3 shots. And Mamadi Diani has not scored in this game until that basket to start the second half. I got a feeling we'll hear from all of them here in the second. Here's Singletary. Catch, shoot. Can't finish it off. It's a tough day for Sean Singletary. 2 for 6 so far. Into the post it goes. Coleman Collins. I wouldn't be surprised, Dell, if Seth Greenberg would want to see if he could get Coleman Collins off inside.
Yeah, I talked to him about that, and he said this is a perfect game for him to do that. But the guard play from Virginia Tech has been so well that they didn't need to. So hopefully this second half they may just try to do that.
Singletary out front. Reynolds, and look at two Hokies chase him. Dowdell and Coleman Collins comes out to help. 10 on the shot clock. Reynolds finds an opening for three and gets fouled on the three. Dowdell with a foul, and that is going to be 3 on him. Sean Singletary a little frustrated this afternoon. His only 3 of the day. That gave him 5 points. He's 2 for 6. And a big foul trying to shut off Munson. Right now, this may be ready to turn as Reynolds goes to the free throw line. 2 things have happened here. 2-shot foul for Reynolds, and the 3rd personal on Xavier Dowdell.
Yeah, it could be a big play there to get 3 shots here, and then another, like I said, your 3rd personal on Dowdell. But hey, Munson has played well in the first half, so Seth Greenberg, I'm sure, will not hesitate to get his young freshman back into the game.
It's down to 12, and Reynolds looking to hit the trifecta. Get 3 points the hard way, 1 at a time, and that brings Virginia within 11. Well, well, well. Was 21 points a big enough pad? Maybe not. Gordon looks for Dowdell off the curl. Reynolds there in place. Soroye to show. Dowdell is yet to score in this game. Oh, nice move by Gordon, but he can't finish. He'll get a chance to go to the foul line, however. Foul is going to be on Soroye.
Yeah, great defense there on Gordon, but he spins nicely off the defender. Can't finish with the left, but he gets fouled. He's an excellent free throw shooter.
On to the free throw line here for 2. Virginia Tech trying to hold on to that big cushion. Gordon at 6. Virginia Tech as a team 66%, so they are challenged somewhat on the free throw line. They may be spending some time on there in the second half. 7 points for Jamon Gordon with a pair of hits there. Increased the Hokie lead to 13. Virginia Tech has played man-to-man just about all the way. Singletary with a bigger cover on him. And they're punching it inside. Kane denied by Deron Washington.
Tell you, Virginia Tech is doubling all pick and rolls with the guards, forcing the big men to make a play. When you've got Deron Washington backing you up as a guard, it's going to be tough to finish around the rim.
Deron Washington with yet another block. That's his 3rd in this game. And a foul on Jason Kane is going to be his 3rd. In a loose ball situation. Dowdell at the top. Virginia now man-to-man. Gordon. Dowdell for his first points of the day and doesn't get it. Collins boards the miss. Vasayo up and under.
Strong move by the young man right there to finish with the left. Great rebound off the offensive board there by Coleman Collins.
42-27, Virginia Tech back to 15. Still plenty of time in this basketball game for Virginia. Reynolds to Kane on the baseline. Again denied inside, this time Collins. Possession now goes to Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia Tech continues to double all screen and rolls with the guards, making them kick it to the big man who just cannot finish around the basket today. Virginia Tech doing an excellent job blocking the basketball.
I'll tell you what, Deron Washington, he'll be part of that pick and roll trap, and then he also makes it down to the block. There's the block so far today, 8 for Virginia Tech, 3 from Deron Washington. High dribble, Reynolds with the shot, and again with Gordon in his face, he scores. Reynolds with 13. 42-29, that's the lead for Virginia Tech. Here's Vasayo. Gordon, a skip pass to an open Deron Washington. And the shot's not falling as regularly for the Hokies in the second half. Here's Singletary. Diani to Will Harris and a foul on Deron Washington. It'll be his 2nd. Second team foul on the Hokies.
If you're the Cavaliers, that's exactly how you got to get back in the game. Force guys that a little bit out of their comfort zone, taking those long three-pointers, getting the rebound, and then off to the races. But you got to knock in your free throws as well, Steve.
And, of course, next Tuesday night, got a either-or situation, split telecasts from Raycom Sports and Lincoln Financial Sports. Some of you will see the Virginia Tech Hokies at North Carolina. Others, Georgia Tech at Florida State. If you'll join us, check your listings for the game in your area at 8 o'clock Eastern. Will Harris on the free throw line. He missed the first. Tees up the second, misses that one too, and Washington's got his double-double with rebound number 10. We got a whistle and a foul coming up. And it's on Tunji Soroye. And that's going to be his third foul. It's a 13 foul now on Virginia. Ryan Pettinella comes into the ballgame. Soroye goes out. Here's Gordon on the baseline. Jamon Gordon with 9. The lead's back to 15. Down to the baseline, kicked out of bounds. And we have a timeout on the court. Virginia Tech holding on to that 14, now 15-point lead. They lead the Cavaliers 44-29 in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech's found alternative forms of energy this afternoon.
They really have, Steve, in terms of A.D. Vasayo, who's been very good, got a chance to start today, and he has responded with all sorts of moves, hitting the short jumpers, taking the ball to the basket. He's responded with 11 points and 4 rebounds, so he's been active on both ends of the floor.
And he's had to respond, as has Deron Washington, because the starter and leading scorer for this team, Xavier Dowdell, has been held scoreless in this game. Foul trouble early on. He sat a good part of the first half. He's got 3 fouls right now, and he's only taken 2 shots in this game. He hasn't had to. Mamadi Diani with the ball out front. Virginia Tech leading Virginia by 15. Steve Martin, Del Curry here in Blacksburg. It's Diani. Now Reynolds. Everything's tough for the Cavaliers inside, and looks like the 9th block of the day. For the Hokies, we got a jump ball situation. Possession arrow headed in the other direction. It's going to be Virginia Tech ball on the possession arrow.
I tell you, you see J.R. Reynolds here just being able to strongly take the ball to the basket, but when he gets there, he meets a host of Hokies who deny him the shot.
It's been that way all afternoon. Virginia Tech has been very protective of everything in the paint. Coleman Collins has been looking at. He hasn't scored many points, only 2, but he's been part of the block patrol inside. Vasayo off target. Dowdell saves it off Pettinella. What a play by Xavier Dowdell. If he can't score, there are other things he can add.
Yeah, you love to see that in your senior leadership. He's not hanging his head. He hasn't scored. He's going to help his team in other ways.
Senior from Pahokee, Florida. Here's Vasayo back to Dowdell. The cover is off. And the press is on. 47-29. Virginia had this down to an 11-point game. Diani misses. Pettinella finds a shooter. Sean Singletary off the floor for a few minutes. Adrian Joseph. And Diani traveled. He knew what he wanted to do. He just didn't have enough steps to do it.
He did not. I'll tell you, great hustle by there. But on the other end, I just can't get over Dowdell saving the ball. He gets back to him. He finally hits a jumper. For you young kids out there, do not get disgruntled if your jumper's not going. You can help your team in a lot of different ways. Find your rhythm, and then you'll make shots as they come.
Turnovers haven't been Virginia's problem as much as shooting percentage. 25%. They've had a few open shots and haven't hit them. 11 of 43. Virginia Tech's made everything else hard. Here's Gordon inside. There's a push before the basket. Sean Singletary. That's his second, team's 4th.
That's the 4th team foul on Virginia.
Ball will be underneath the basket as Singletary picks up his second, as we said. Dowdell. Inbounded to Gordon. 4.5 minutes gone in the second half. But not much change in the score. Dowdell inside. Good defense by Virginia. Singletary in a hurry. Dowdell picks up number 4. And Seth Greenberg's going to go back to the substitute rotation at guard.
Yeah, he has to. It's just a tough play there. You know, Singletary's going to push the ball. Dowdell just got caught off balance, and Singletary, being a smart player, created the contact and got the foul on Dowdell.
It's going to be a light day for Xavier Dowdell. He'll have plenty of activity left for North Carolina on Tuesday because he's not going to get many minutes today. Marcus Sales takes his place. Shot from the corner by Harris. Long court pass. Here's Washington to finish Chiquite. And a foul to boot. Check Chiquite.
When it's going your way, Steve, it is going your way. You see the air ball right there. Jamon Gordon, long pass. Deron Washington goes up. Oh, I'm not at the basket, but there's my teammate hustling down the floor, bails him out, and he finishes with the foul.
What an assist by Deron Washington. Chiquite going for the three-point play. Washington will look back on this afternoon and say, boy, that was fun.
Yeah, he'll need to get a copy of this game and save it.
Reynolds works the baseline. Pass deflected out, but Singletary will save it. It's a 20-point lead for Virginia Tech. Here's the strip by Gordon. Gordon looks to finish, and a foul coming up. It's either on Reynolds or Solomon Tat. It'll be on Tat, the freshman. And Gordon getting ready, and the crowd stands, and their emotions carry them to applaud the defensive effort of the Hokies this afternoon on an 11-2 run.
Yeah, the Hokies are as active as I've seen them in any game this year. When a Cavalier has the ball and puts it on the floor, he's going to run into traffic. And I tell you, their hands are just exceptional at stealing the ball without fouling. And it creates opportunities on the offensive end.
That's 3 steals for Gordon. Gets a pair of free throws to boot, has 11 for the day. It's the biggest lead of the afternoon, 51-29. Man, Jamon Gordon saw you in the building and says, man, I can erase that steal lead all in one day. Reynolds makes the tough shot.
Every shot, I tell you, that's a great shot, but like you said, it is a tough shot, and the Hokies can live with that. You know, he's expending energy to get those shots.
He's had a hand on his face or had to fall away from the defender to get his offense off. He's leading courageously with 15. Vasallo inside to Sales. What an assist by Vasallo. Sales now with 6. And an offensive foul against Virginia. It's going to be on Singletary as the frustration starts to set in, his 3rd.
Virginia Tech continues to do an outstanding job at sharing the basketball. There's a look-away pass right there to Sales right under the basket. I'm really impressed with Vasallo. He's had the ability to shoot the basketball, put it on the floor, and he shows the ability to find the open man right there.
Well, Vasallo is skilled enough offensively. Look at the assist in this one. Hokies 10-3 in that category. He's skilled enough offensively. You must come out and defend him. And Sales found himself all alone in the lane. Gordon backs off and hits it. 13 for Jamon Gordon, who was in a slump coming into this game. 32% over the last 6. No such slump today. Kane. Vasallo boards the miss. A 13-2 run for Virginia Tech. Up and under for Deron Washington. His first points of the second half and a timeout called by Virginia. 12:08 left to go here in the second half. And Virginia Tech is roaring. 57-31. Look at Virginia Tech get out and run. They lead by 26. A.D. Vasallo carries deep. Washington having an outstanding day, and Deron with his 14th point has a double-double, his 2nd of the season, and Hokie fans couldn't be happier. And What a game to have it against your arch rivals who happen to be, coming into this game, the hottest in the ACC with 7 straight wins.
And the Hokies did exactly what they needed to do from the start of this game, was come out fast, get the crowd involved, who were just waiting for the Hokies to play a lights-out game like this, and they've been involved all game long.
Here's Reynolds for 3. And we have a timeout coming with a foul coming up against Virginia Tech. Shorted out after this, Virginia Tech, 57-31. We are back at Castle Coliseum. Virginia Tech having themselves a run. Dave Leitao trying to make sense of it all. His team came in hottest in the ACC in a 2-way, then briefly a 3-way tie at the top, only to see his team fade by 26. There's still time to come back, but they got to get busy here in a hurry. Every shot has been tough as Virginia Tech has really clamped down defensively. Sean Singletary with only 5 points in this game. Tat comes in, and he's blocked by Jakite, and we have a foul on Vasayo. That's his first, team's 5th.
15 foul on Hokies.
Again, a foul on Vasayo, but you see Deontay come over and with that shot block, he's still there for help side. I tell you, nothing is going to be easy for the Cavaliers today to get back in this game.
No, they haven't been able to do anything in the paint this afternoon. They've either been fouled or blocked. Tat uses the equipment. He's got 5. Solomon Tat is playing catch-up really for Virginia, coming off an injury that kept him out for 10 games. Part of Dave Leito's second recruiting class. Has 6 for the afternoon, 57-33. Nigel Munson now at the control. Xavier Dowdell on the bench with 4 fouls. And a double dribble call. Turnover is the 10th of the game or 11th of the game for Virginia Tech. That hasn't been their problem today. Their shooting percentage has been outstanding. And they have dictated the terms of battle all afternoon long. Here's Singletary, and he is fouled. Our Chevrolet Stars of the Week in the ACC. Our Player of the Week, of course, Jared Dudley of Boston College. Great week for the Boston College Eagles. Started with a rout of these same Virginia Tech Hokies. And the Rookie of the Week, Brandon Costner. For more information, go to lfsports.com. There's Xavier Dowdell, mostly a spectator today because of foul trouble. 2 early fouls, sat in most of the first half. He's now on the bench with 4 fouls and only 3 points in this game. Singletary challenged on the shot by Gordon, but he still put it in.
Excellent shot there. I think Gordon might have had a finger on that ball. But, you know, Singletary, he's a guy, he's not going to quit. I'm telling you, he's going to shoot the basketball when he's open, and it's always has the possibility of going in.
4 times they've come from double digits back. They trailed with 8:47 to go against Clemson. They were down by, well, let's see, they were down by 15, and they came back on a 19-2 run to win. Inside, a kick out by Jakite to Washington. He's got 3. There's a rally killer right there. Here's Reynolds. Hop, skip, and a basket. No foul, and he's holding his hip. Reynolds with 17.
Virginia's got a foul.
He is late. It's 5 on 4. And Vasayo hits the 3 as they wait for Reynolds to get up in the front court, and he's still hunched over at midcourt. He hit the deck hard on his right hip.
He did. It was a mistake. I think Virginia needed the foul there. Coach Leitao was trying to get his players' attention. But the way the Hokies have been sharing the ball, you definitely don't want to play 5 on 4.
No.
They moved the ball too well.
He comes off.
Just got hit in the hip there.
Jeff Boyer, the trainer of the Virginia Cavaliers, is looking him over as Will Harris will replace J.R. Reynolds in the lineup. And that's certainly not good news for that man, Dave Leitao. I'm checking the replay here for something. I believe time remaining.
Just can't get over how well the Hokies have shared the basketball today.
I guess there's a question on Deron Washington's 3-pointer. Was it a 3 or is it a 2? And Ray Natili is trying to sort that out with the replay monitor. Let's take a look and see if we can help him. Watch the feet. Is he on the line? Ooh, that right foot looked like there was room.
Tough angle, but it looked like he was behind it. He'll tell you he was. There's a good angle.
Let's see if this shows it any differently. That looks like Vasayo's shot. That's the shot before that.
We know that's good.
Yeah, we knew that was good. The discussion rolls on, as does Virginia Tech. 63, we think, to 38. Ray Tilly talking things over with Dave Leitao. Brian Dorsey listening in.
You know, with Seth Greenberg taking a chance here and starting Leitao, who's normally a good energy bench guy, and inserting him in the starting lineup, the way he's come through for his coach today really says a lot about this young man. He's really playing well on both ends, and he's passed the ball, he's rebounded, he's shot it, he's done it all today.
Jason Kane, who's yet to score in this game. Here's Singletary. From the corner over Munson. That was a contested shot. Singletary now in double figures with 10. 63-40, but it's a long uphill climb for Virginia here as we're past the midway point of the second half. Virginia Tech resting Coleman Collins for the moment. Shek Chikite is in the paint. Gordon will back it up. Munson looking for Washington, covering him up as Kane. Shot clock now down under 10. Pettinella will show hard. A three by Gordon. Good defense that time by the Cavaliers. Force a lower percentage outside shot. Tat on his move, and he makes it over the outstretched hands of Shek Chikite.
Strong move to the basket that time by the young fella off the window. Tech cannot get complacent here. I know they want to try to use the clock and get late in the shot clock before they get a shot, but they've got to stay aggressive.
Tat now has a career high. We got a whistle.
Timeout.
And a timeout called by Virginia Tech. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. As the Hokies now have a 63-42 lead. Virginia trying to mount a run here, but shots not falling, and there haven't been any open shots. Sean Singletary has had to take some contested ones. Timeout on the floor as the teams discuss strategy. You should too. Get someone to talk with you, not at you. Talk to Chuck, Charles Schwab. And of course, what's Seth Greenberg talking about in the huddle now that he's called in this timeout?
He's saying, look, guys, we have a 21-point lead here. Let's not get complacent on offense. We want to use the shot clock, get good shots, but we also want to keep our intensity defensively. That's how we created this lead, with the intensity defensively, and we need to continue that throughout this game.
So that's what he's telling his club. He's brought Coleman Collins back to the floor. And we've got Marcus Sales, A.D. Vasayo, Jamon Gordon, and Deron Washington. 63-42. Steve Martin here along with Del Curry. We're in Blacksburg, Virginia. A place Del knows very well from his 4 years here at Virginia Tech. Here's Vasayo for three.
And right before they broke the huddle, he said, Jamon Gordon, do a draw and kick to Vasayo, and let's break this drought.
Singletary, deep three. And Vasayo boards the miss. A lot of long up-court passes for Virginia Tech this afternoon, and they found receivers in the same uniform. Kind of like their football teams been used to do. The three by Washington doesn't go. Pettinella boards it, and Marcus Sales comes up with a foul. His second, team sixth.
Marcus Sales, that's his third.
And actually, that's the 17th foul. So we're going to take the walk down to the other end.
This is something the Hokies definitely don't want to do, is put Virginia on the line with the clock stop, shooting 1-and-1.
Good to see J.R. Reynolds back on the floor. Sore right hip. Pettinella misses. Pettinella was cooking right along when he went down with the injury. That one double-figure game, and there's going to be a guy who is very aggressive in defense, good post defender to help Jason Kane out inside, but then he missed 10 games. He's still trying to find his tempo. Sales. Here's to the post to Collins to test that theory I just talked about. We got a whistle and a foul, and it's going to be a foul charged to J.R. Reynolds.
All your horses.
good time here at Castle Coliseum. This has become one of the toughest places to play in the ACC. What was the atmosphere like when you played back in the mid-'80s?
Just what we're seeing today. And that's one thing Seth Greenberg wanted to do 4 years ago when he took this job. He called some of the alumni, myself included, talked about what he needed to do to get the atmosphere like it was back in the mid-'80s. And I said, Seth, win, baby. Get you some players and win. But the atmosphere, this is a great place to play college basketball, and the atmosphere is just unbelievable.
Well, he's taking your advice because he's gotten some players, and they are playing, and they're winning. They've had some big ones. Big win at Cameron Indoor Stadium against Duke earlier in the season. A big upset win against North Carolina, a game in which they led by 21 points and wound up holding on to win at the end. And right now they have put a pretty big lick on the Cavaliers of Virginia and doing such a good job defensively in this one. Here's Kane looking for his first basket of the game, and he gets it.
Good strong move right there. He even went on the shot blocker, Deron Washington, excuse me. Nice move but there by Kane.
He's had 9 block shots, so you can understand his trepidation. A.D. Vasayo's had an excellent game today, as has Jamon Gordon. They've had to cover for Xavier Dowdell, who's been in foul trouble all afternoon, sitting on the bench with 4. Vasayo has a ball blocked by Harris. Virginia now in a zone. And a walk. Oh, wait, they got a foul before the walk. Now they got the walk. Brian Dorsey saw a foul right until he saw the walk, and then they both looked at each other and agreed that it's a walk.
Yeah, that was definitely a walk. Again, the Hokies look a little stagnant against that zone, like they're unsure what they want to do. A good move by Leitao to come out in the zone.
See if he can seal off the bleeding inside and force Virginia Tech to take some long shots. 68-44. Virginia Tech trying to break a 4-game losing streak to Virginia. Solomon Tat. A.D. Vasayo with yet another rebound. That's his 8th. 6.5 to play here in Blacksburg. Marcus Sales, who's had some big playing time today, came in early when Dowdell picked up his 2nd foul in the first half. Coleman Collins at work on Soroye. Kane to help. Gordon into the lane. We got a whistle and a foul. No basket. Foul is going to be charged to Tat. Food Lion and Pepsi have teamed up again this year for the Sink One Score a Million sweepstakes. 3 contestants win a trip to the ACC tournament in Tampa and a chance to take a half-court shot for $1 million. Visit foodlion.com for more details. It's one of the highlights of the ACC tournament. In fact, John Singletary back on the floor. He's got double figures. He only had 5 points in the first half. Gordon hits the front half of a one-on-one. 14%. He's a 66% free throw shooter. But today he's been pretty good. 5 for 5, 6 for 6.
Well, for Virginia to get back in this game, they're going to have to pick up their defensive intensity. So that's going to obviously create some fouls. So the Hokies are going to have to step to the line and knock down their free throws.
70-44. Hokies in command. Here's Reynolds. Look how tough it is for him to score. But he did. 19 points for J.R. Reynolds. And a one-man press by Tat. Virginia Tech sniffing around for big wins, and Xavier Dowdell is getting ready to return to the lineup. This is a key game for both of these teams. Virginia has done so well on the road. You see the free throw story there. Until today, they won 3 straight on the road in the ACC, which is very, very difficult. And their latest big win over Maryland. 5 on the shot clock. Ron Washington's miss, boarded by Tat. Singletary backs up behind the 3 and gets it. Singletary has 13. Cavaliers now trying to make a dent in this big lead, and Virginia Tech wants a 30-second timeout to talk things over at the 5:07 mark, and they will. Down by 21 here. Virginia talking things over, and obviously they need to take 3-pointers to get back into this and whittle down the lead in such a short amount of time. Coming up on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, you'll see one of two games. Some will see Virginia Tech travel to North Carolina. Jamon Gordon and Xavier Dowdell take on Tyler Hansbrough and company, while others will see Georgia Tech at Florida State. Both teams are in need of wins down the stretch. Seminoles' Al Thornton has been one of the best players in the conference, while the Yellow Jackets look to a pair of freshmen to lead them. More basketball on the Raycom Lincoln Financial Sports 25th anniversary season of bringing you ACC hoops. Check your local listings for the game in your area.
The Hokies going to need this same type of intensity next week as they go into the Dean's Center for the first time as a member of the ACC tournament.
That's right. That's right.
So they're going to need to bottle this game up and take it with them on the road.
Of course, North Carolina tuned up with a 37-point win over Wake Forest. It's almost like Virginia Tech says, well, we ought to do the same here. They've had a lead as big as 26 in this game. Scores coming in from around the country. Arizona just struggled off and on. Kansas leading. You see Georgetown was a winner earlier, as was Ohio State. Our score, Virginia Tech 70-49. LSU with a big win today, and that's the upset of the day in the SEC, Tennessee over Vanderbilt. And Virginia will put up a full court press here with 5:07 left to go. They'll make a run of it. 21 points is a long way to come with 5 minutes left. Washington into the corner, Vasayo. And when they come into front court, it'll go back to a man-to-man. They threw a zone at Virginia Tech a while ago, and it kind of threw them off kilter for a couple of possessions. Here's Coleman Collins. Collins with 6, but he's done other things today, such as block shots and generally cause mayhem in the middle for Virginia. Here's a steal by Jamon Gordon. He's got 4, and here's Washington.
What else can you say about this guy? I'll tell you, Gordon with the great anticipation, the great slide down for the drop-off pass. He steps right in the pass and then throws it up top to the guy who's going to finish with authority.
And what a day it has been. A tough day for J.R. Reynolds. 19 points, and he's earned every one of them. All touched out of bounds by Xavier Dowdell, so Virginia maintains possession. 4:14 remaining in this one. And a timeout called by Virginia Tech. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, as Seth Greenberg wants to talk things over again here. If you can find anything to be unhappy about, Seth just trying to keep their focus. A look at the Q Motor Oil Power 25. Only 2 ACC teams in. This is what happens when they all play each other. But that'll change soon. North Carolina, of course, in 5th. They'll move upward with their win today, although Wisconsin and Ohio State did win, but UCLA lost. Duke looking to maintain as they've suffered some losses lately. 5-5 in ACC play. You can bet that Virginia Tech, with today's win, will force their way back in to our Q Motor Oil Power 25. Full court pressure by Virginia Tech. All knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be last touched by J.R. Reynolds.
Everything continues to go the Hokies' way. Just good solid D off of that out of bounds. Force Virginia to turn the ball over once again.
Well, they've made things happen this afternoon with their defense. Ooh, Harris bumped off Vasayo. It comes inside to Collins. 74-49. Virginia Tech took control of this game at the outset with a 13-2 run. Then a couple of Virginia baskets, and they went on an 11-0 run. And Virginia's been trying to climb out of that hole ever since. The throw by Dowdell to the corner. In the lane, reverse lay-in is good by Deron Washington, plus a foul.
There's that athleticism we talked about at the offset. This guy, I'll tell you, when he has things going his way, he is fun to watch.
His career high is 25. He's already at his 21. Virginia Tech leading 76-49.
It's my bumper. New tail lights.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
It's my birthday.
Our Chrysler game summary looks like this. It's all Virginia Tech, 76-49, and the field goal percentage they've held Virginia to is something special, 33% while shooting 58% themselves. Deron Washington has been fantastic. You talked about X factors. He certainly has provided the energy today, Del.
He really is. Right from the offset, he was the guy that came out with the energy, and I think everybody fed off of that energy. He was doing it on both ends of the floor, active, off of his feet, help side, whatever you ask of him today, he has done some and more.
22 points for him. This one's coming right to you almost. Nice save by J.R. Reynolds.
I need another steal.
Shamon Gordon creeping up on you today. It's Del Curry, the all-time leader in steals at Virginia Tech. He had a 41 steal lead at the beginning of the day. It's down to 37. And last remember Del saying, "I'm safe." I heard it. Yeah. I'm safe. Not a problem.
The last words.
Foul is on A.D. Vasayo, and going up for one-on-one is Will Harris. Good-looking young freshman out of Corona, New York at 6'6". And he hits the front half with a one-on-one. As we said earlier, he was out here. I mean, we got here at noon. And he got here shortly thereafter and was shooting.
Yeah. The game has changed, Steve. Guys come out with their iPods and earphones.
Headphones on.
Yeah.
We could have said bad things about him. He wouldn't have known. Well, we wouldn't do that. And now we've got...
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we ask you please not throw anything
they're throwing
on the
some
playing
stuff on the floor
Next
here
time
that
it happens, it will be a
little
technical
stoppage
foul against the Hokies. Thank you.
That's this. We're up 26 points. Why would we throw stuff on the floor?
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure why. All right, full court press set up here by Virginia. Try to force the steal. Try to salvage something out of these last couple of minutes here. And these two teams will meet again on March 1st in Charlottesville. I'm sure the Cavaliers will have long memories of this. Gordon up front to Dowdell. We talk a lot about Virginia Tech's great backcourt, and they are a great backcourt, and so is Virginia's. But Virginia Tech has done this really without a significant contribution from Dowdell, who was in foul trouble most of the afternoon. Foul coming up on Will Harris. That's his second, and we're in the double bonus now here for the Hokies as A.D. Vasayo goes up to the line.
And you still see Vasayo, as the offense runs and things break down, he still has the ability to put the ball on the floor, go to hole, and make a play for his team.
5 games remaining in this ACC season for Virginia Tech beyond this one. 6, actually. And a big week coming down on Tobacco Road for them at North Carolina and at North Carolina State. Vasayo hits a pair, has 19. His season high 26, career high 29. Under 3 to play. 79-51, a 28-point edge. Here's Tat inside. Kane can't finish. Harris tries. 3 shots, and Soroye finally polishes off the possession. Tunji Soroye makes it 79-53. Virginia Tech with 3 key road games and a home matchup with Boston College. They've got Boston College, Miami, and Clemson at home, NC State, North Carolina, and Virginia on the road. A challenging menu. That makes this game, which is going to be a win, look very good to them.
It really does, and that's something Coach Greenberg talked about this morning, that this is a game that they absolutely had to win because of that schedule, because of their road schedule. And, you know, in the ACC, it really doesn't matter where you play. You better be ready to play every night.
And that's as evidenced by Virginia in this 7-game win streak. 3 of those games came on the road, including their last win over Maryland. I mean, I was talking with Dan Bonner the other day, and he said, you just cannot just show up at your home gym and expect to win. You've got to bring your A game every night in this league. The teams are that well balanced and that close. And even though a score like this doesn't look close, consider the fact that Virginia Tech was on the other side of such a game last week with Boston College.
And that's how it should be, because when tournament time comes, you're going to have to play your best regardless of where you play. So this is what you play for.
Kane out front. Solomon Tat. One of the bright spots for Virginia today with a career high. Jamil Tucker trying to create something inside. Tips his own miss in. But we're closing in on the end of this one in Blacksburg. 81-55 with 1:47 left to play. And the Hokies are going to push their ACC record to 7-3 to get their 17th win overall. Washington takes a hard shot to the hip. For Virginia, they'll go to 16-7 and 8-3 in the ACC, which isn't bad. One would think that the formula for getting into the NCAA would be at least 500 or better in your conference, and they're at the 500 mark no matter what happens from here on out. Vasayo for three. With 2 on the shot clock. A.D. Vasayo with 22. His 4th three-pointer of the day. Soroya inside. Here's Reynolds, and he's fouled by Deron Washington. One of the few bad things that have happened to Deron Washington today. What a day for him.
I'll tell you, he has really responded to the opportunity to get a start, get the crowd going right away, and lift his team to a very important victory. But if you're Dave Leitao, you're not terribly upset about a game like this. You've won 7 in a row. You've won on the road. You won at home. And this is a tough league. You know, I think he has a veteran ball club that'll bounce back and be ready to play next time they take the floor.
J.R. Reynolds with 20, and of course Dave Leitao's team will play 3 of their next 4 ACC games at home. And Jamon Gordon gets a good round of applause as he heads to the bench. A great day, 15 points for him, 4 steals. J.R. Reynolds on the free throw line. And it's been a courageous game that Reynolds has played today, and he's going to get a rest. Dave Leitao gets him off the floor.
He really was. He played a great game. I mean, he competed from the onset. Last time he'll play here at Castle Coliseum. So, you know, it's a tough way for him to go out, but he'll bounce back.
A.D. Vasayo now has it in the front court. There's the shot by Coleman Collins. Collins has been a factor defensively today. Here comes Solomon Tat. All knocked out of bounds in the game's final 30 seconds. Our Pepsi players of the game, J.R. Reynolds. A tough, gritty 21 points on a tough day for his team. He didn't hit a 3-point field goal. And Deron Washington, who comes off the floor right now with a double-double, his 2nd of the season, 22 and 10, our Pepsi players of the game. 31 seconds left to go. Ball knocked out of bounds by Virginia. As Jerome Mansay. There's Deron Washington. And next Tuesday, you'll see either these Hokies at North Carolina or Georgia Tech at Florida State. A key game in Tallahassee. Georgia Tech, young team trying to turn their season around. They had a big win against NC State. Florida State with a big win last week at Cameron Indoor. Shot clock is gone. Xavier Dowdell will just dribble away the time here as Virginia Tech will get their 7th ACC win. They're just a win off the 500 mark in conference play and go to 17 and 7. Xavier Dowdell did not have to have a big day today. He had plenty of help from Deron Washington, Jamon Gordon, and A.D. Vasayo. Seth Greenberg, Dave Leitao meet at midcourt. And this one is in the books for the Virginia Tech Cavaliers as they defeat the Virginia Tech Hokies as they defeat the Virginia Cavaliers 84-57. Thumbs up greeting for Seth Greenberg as the Hokies get it done from wire to wire. 84-57.